Trauma is your greatest power, but most men don't know how to use it. You see, we live in an age where everyone talks about their trauma, where victimhood is a competition. Who can cry the loudest? Who can collect the most sympathy? You'll see men wearing their pain like a badge of weakness, crying about the past, begging for attention. Pathetic. Then there's the other type of man, the one who doesn't even realize he carries trauma. His life is shaped by betrayal, heartbreak, and abandonment, yet he refuses to see it. He's full of limiting beliefs and self-sabotaging behavior shaped by his past, but instead of facing it, he copes, locks it away, pretends it never happened. Both are weak. One lets his trauma define him. The other hides from it, and in doing so lets it define him all the same. But what if I told you there's a third type of man? A man who doesn't run from his trauma but faces it and uses it as fuel. These are the men that become hyper-successful because they tapped into their superpower. And deep down you know it's true. And there's nothing wrong with that. But here's what they don't tell you. Every successful man has tapped into his dark side. I've manifested great things in my life. But I didn't do it with positivity alone. I tapped into something deeper, darker, more powerful. My trauma. I still remember what it felt like to be abandoned as a child. My father didn't give a damn about me. He left me behind and I grew up in violence and chaos. I was a scared little boy and I coped the only way I knew how, seeking comfort through bad habits and getting into fights. But after wasting years of my life, I was done. As the great psychologist Carl Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And he was right. Like most men, I thought I was just who I was. I had no idea my past was controlling me, shaping me into a failure until I faced my trauma. And that's when I felt it. An intense surge of energy, hatred, the desire to kill. No one else will tell you this, but facing your trauma will awaken a powerful side of you, a side that craves revenge. Why didn't I have a father who cared for me? Why did that little boy have to go through so much violence? Those questions turned into anger, anger into hatred, and that hatred into the urge for vengeance. A burning desire to make others feel the pain I felt. Now, you probably think this level of anger is bad, but that's just because you've been lied to. Society has programmed you to believe that anger is wrong, that you should let go of those feelings, that you should just heal. But society has never produced great men. If you listen to what they tell you about trauma, you'll throw away the most intense surge of energy buried inside of you. You see, I've talked to men who went through worse than me, men who got sexually abused as a kid, and they listened to society. They let go of their pain. They healed, but they accomplished nothing. All the suffering and pain wasted, never used as fuel. You know what I told them? Rip those wounds open again and face the pain. Imagine getting abused as a kid, going through hell, only to move on. And be average, even less than average. When you count the decades wasted coping with bad habits, listen, no matter what you went through, big or small, even if it's as small as a girl rejecting you or someone looking down on you, your pain can become your greatest success story if you know how to use it. That's why we'll go over 4 secrets to turn your trauma into power. Secret 1. Rip open the wounds. But the key to success is to rip open the wounds of your past. Most people heal from their pain. They learn the lessons. They move on. And that's not a bad thing. It's how you gain wisdom. And it's certainly better than numbing yourself with bad habit. But there comes a time where you must do what no one else dares to. You must reopen those wounds. Think about it. Men like David Goggins aren't admired because they just healed. No, he has processed his past and gained wisdom from it. But when he needs power, he rips those wounds open again and again and again. I'm reliving every single dark moment of my life. That is what motivates David Goggins. There is power in the pain of your past. Gold hidden in your darkness. So whenever you slack off, whenever you get too comfortable, rip those wounds open again. Remind yourself of the people who did you wrong. Relive the trauma again. Allow it to consume you, to torment you. Then turn that pain into fuel. Use it to drive you towards success. But what I'm about to reveal next is where your real transformation begins. Secret 2. Fusing the trauma. It's fusing your past pain with something from the present. You see, most men think trauma only comes from their past, from childhood, from heartbreak, from betrayal. But trauma goes beyond that. It's not just what happened to you years ago. It's what's happening right now. It can be the way someone looks down on you, the way they spoke about you, the moment they laughed at your dreams. That's fuel too. And when you link the way people look down on you today with the pain from your past, you create a lethal force of energy. A prime example of this is UFC superstar Alex Pereira. His rival, Israel Adesanya, mocked him in an interview. He said Pereira was a nobody, and that he'd end up a drunk in a bar admiring him from a distance. At the end of the day, no one knows who he is, and he's going to be that guy when I'm world champion, when I'm a legend. He's going to be at some pub talking some about I beat that guy one time trying to get a dick sucked from a crack or some. Most men would brush it off, say it's not a big deal, especially since Pereira was 2-0 against already. But Pereira, he replayed the interview over and over again. Pereira used to be an alcoholic in the past. So, there were two traumas at play here. One, a former rival doing better than him, dismissing his potential. Two, the reminder of his past as an alcoholic, the life he swore he'd never go back to. He let that disrespect burn into his mind. Then he came into the UFC and destroyed everyone, becoming an even bigger superstar than his former rival, in a shorter period of time without even speaking English. And Israel Adesanya is a huge star that took over the UFC by storm himself. That shows you the power of fusing pain. Everyone that's a UFC fan looks at Pereira with sheer admiration. They admire his knockout power, his superstardom, but they failed to draw the lesson from what happened there. When you link someone looking down on you with the pain from the past, you double the force of energy and drive. Secret 3. Take it personal. But what if I told you we all have people looking down on us or underestimating us? It is just that most people don't see it for what it is, and don't take it personal. No one knows this, but the exact same situation with Alex Pereira and Israel Adesanya happened with Andrew Tate and a former kickboxing rival called Ibrahim beat Andrew Tate in 1 minute. He made him quit. I was going to be the first man who destroyed him, and now that I'm globally famous, he just wants to be said in the same sentence as me because he's a nobody. So, he's not a relevant individual. It is the exact same situation. The difference, Ibrahim heard Tate's words and did nothing. Pereira heard Adesanya's words and turned them into power. One became a superstar, the other faded into a... We all have these moments in life. Times when people underestimate us, when someone ahead of us looks down on us and it's But when you take it personally, when you let that disrespect burn into your soul, you gain an unstoppable source of fuel. Secret 4. Loop the pain. To remind yourself of it often whenever your motivation dips, or when you do feel like doing the hard work. Replay it. Reignite the fire. Remind yourself of the pain. Burn it into your mind. Fuse it with the people who doubted you. Let it haunt you. Most guys won't do this because it feels uncomfortable to have that dark fuel boil within you, and that's fine. This isn't for everyone. Listen, all of the pain you went through in life, it wasn't for nothing. That suffering you went through was a gift meant to become fuel for you. It's part of what becomes your tale of victory, part of your hero's journey. And know you have two choices. You can throw away your pain, your greatest weapon, just to stay comfortable, or embrace it, wield it, and become the man you were meant to be. By the way, if you want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Until next time.